White Lords are formidable opponents, demonstrating a major leap in power from previous foot soldier units. Featuring a substantial increase in attack and defense in comparison to the previous battle's Kaiser Guard, these units are to be found in large groups and can take their toll with frequent critical strikes. Spiriel is the most dangerous opponent we have faced so far. Wielding a halberd, she has far higher attack power than even our best allies. Her lethal tornado attack is capable of destroying allies in one shot, and engaging her in melee combat is a huge risk due to her frequent counter-attacks, which wreak havoc among our force. Perhaps more dangerous than any one ability is her unpredictable AI, which has no qualms about ignoring our leader in favor of weaker, tastier targets. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Play Shining Force 3. This is Battle 14. And the first few turns of this battle are incredibly dull. Everything after that is made entirely of pain, which is the reason I've been really wanting to dodge doing this battle for a while. But no, getting on with it. There is one reason that I dread this battle over anything else, and you're about to see her. Her name is General Spiriel, and she is walking death. Her entire battalion are heading towards the Elbesem statue. I've skipped forward a couple of turns from the start because nothing happens until they reach the statue. You don't get to any enemies or anything like that, so we might as well just eliminate that waste. I'll be trying to do more aggressive editing in this particular battle to cut out all of the filler and just leave in the good material. The Elbesem statue, and Elbesem, or whatever, however you want to pronounce it. No, it's not some kind of Grand Vizier of Arabia. It's the god of light, and the Elbesem statue protects the land from the influence of the Vandals and all the other evil stuff. So, destroying said statue, probably not a very good thing. Sadly, that is what we're going to see. There is no way to stop the enemy from blowing up the statue, I'm afraid. It would be nice to say that there was, and we could change the storyline that way, but no. In this sense, the game is particularly linear. There is no way around that. They are going to destroy the statue, so you're just going to have to accept that. It's rather necessary for the plot progression anyway. In the meantime, we have things to kill, so let's get it done. I want to try and get Dante's spear skill up this fight, particularly because since he's not promoted yet, he can't go past rank 2 in weapons anyway, and his spear, I believe, is still stuck at rank 1. Indeed, actually, it might be rank 0. Now, horrible voice acting 101.
I'm going to kill you.
Oh yes! Masterpiece theatre, courtesy of the one and only Spiriel, and it gets worse. Now, the statue will attack back, as you're about to see. Oddly enough, the statue actually has the Imperial hero music behind it, as to why I don't know, but it has a Spark 2 ability. It's a very pathetic Spark 2 ability. Indeed, our Spark 1 with Masculine does more damage than this. It's just there for the story, really. It doesn't make an awful lot of difference for a reason you are about to find out. Indeed. The High Priest of Elbesem, at least one of the 4, Basander, and the Divine Cane healing special ability, which acts like an Aura 2, which is a huge, massive, great stonking heal. And it brings them all back to full health. As you can clearly see, there is absolutely no way the statue is even going to do any damage at all to this particular force. So we're going to skip forward, and we're just going to watch it get finished off. There is no reason to hang around. And bye-bye, Guardian Statue of Elbesem. And its horrible flipping 3D image. Note to self, Guardian Statues, very volatile. Oh, is that all we are? Oh, I'm glad to see the level of respect there from the Elbesem High Priests. They're rather annoying, you know. A little bit irksome, a little bit tricky. Mysterious power. We'll find out what that is later on. All I can say is those of you who may have played some of the earlier Shining games, not specifically Shining Force, are going to get a kick out of this one. Okay, once this happens, the enemy force will start to aggressively move towards you, whereas before all they had was their rear guard. the rest of them will start to move towards you, including General Spiriel, which is something that I would like to avoid. Unfortunately, General Spiriel moves very aggressively and very quickly. The White Lords are less of a problem, but they are heavy hitters. You got to bear in mind, of course, that Sybil, while she has low HP, we gave her a lot of defense gear. We gave her that armor milk and the defense bracer.
Now bear my Arctic blast.
And Noon the snowmobile. And she's doing alright. She's not doing too badly, but the White Lords do have exceptionally high attack. All I can say is the people I want to be taking hits are people like Sybil and Dantes and Kite. Nobody else. Now, you did see earlier with Noon that he does have a second spell, and I will show you that a little bit later on. It gives Noon a lot more utility. At this level, Noon is way, way worse than Mascarin for one specific reason. He's only got one spell, and it's only a single target ability. It's good, don't get me wrong, it is good, but the lack of area of effect does make him something of a B-list character at this stage of the game. That is something that will get solved later. Yes, the bats are still hanging around, as much as I wish they weren't. They are still here. I think this is the last time. I said last battle it was the last time, but obviously not. There is a new flying creature that is introduced in the next battle. Very unpleasant. Not a bat, thankfully. Let's put ourselves between Mascarin and this White Lord. Last thing we want is the White Lords charging into the casters. Now, let me show you something more useful. This is the sleep ability. We got the magic wand back in the last town, and he can now do this.
Spirits, help me.
Oh, please. Yeah, his voice acting doesn't get any better. Now, the sleep ability is incredibly useful, although not particularly mana efficient. It's costly to use, but it can cause a target, well, to go to sleep, as you might expect.
Bullseye.
But is that as cool as Hayward shooting lasers from his bow? No, I think not. Yeah, the sleep ability will be something we'll be using later on, and indeed is actually vital for a sync point much later in the game. You will get to see that. None of them seem to have got this whole asking the spirits for phenomenal cosmic power down to a T, really. One's a little bit too polite, and the other one's way too whiny. You see, Irene's actually sitting on level 12, which makes her the highest level character in our force right now. She's still lacking effectiveness because she hasn't leveled up her skills with her particular weapon, the glove weapon, which is a weapon that not only during a rank up gives you skill in attack and a special ability, it also gives you magic skill. It's like a combination hybrid style weapon, which is the reason that we keep hold of the glove rather than use the claw or the cestus. The glove is way more effective at doing that, whereas the cestus is a heavy hitting weapon. Oh dear. This is not what I was looking forward to. We can't even have Dantes back there because we do actually have, as you can see, a tomb that we need to enter. We grabbed the map for this in Vagabond, the village we just came out of. So I'm going to put Kite in between Force and Spiriel. And as a result, lose a huge amount of health from a counter-attack. Oh, dear. Yeah, Spiriel is just unbelievably nasty. You have not seen anything this unpleasant yet. You're going to find out just how really awfully evil Spiriel is. I mean, the Vandal was pretty bad, but at least with the Vandal's more predictable in what he can do. Spiriel, on the other hand, she's all over the place. Doesn't help that she's got 3 White Lords and 2 Megaloaders backing her up as well. That's something we'll have to do. Thankfully, the White Lords are very predictable in where they move. Nice big line that can be AoE'd. First time I've ever seen that one. That's the Seal of Sin special ability. It's the rank 1 ability for Anx with Grace. We don't generally use Grace for attacking very much, but she does actually have some very good specials. Now, let's get this place open. This is not a particularly interesting dungeon, I must say, so I've cut it down. I will show you the one item that's worth having in here. We'll be sending Eldar in there. For obvious reasons, Eldar can fly over otherwise inaccessible obstacles, and Dantes because it's particularly quick. Now, we've got to do something about these. Spiriel's bad enough, but 3 White Lords backing her up is going to end up in a guaranteed loss. So we're going to have to get these out of the way. Definitely an opportunity for some area of effective magic, perhaps. I don't know. I don't want to get Masquerin too close. It's not worth the risk. If you can clearly see there, if I put Masquerin there, that would have blocked off all access points to Kite, which of course would have meant what? Well, yes. They'd have gone for one of the weaker characters. Now, here's an item we grabbed in Vagabond. It's called the Swift Boots. It provides the Support 1 special ability, which is an increase in defense and agility, so this should hopefully help us out against Spiriel a little bit. And they broke straight away, which is very unfortunate. Now here, see, Spiriel walks straight past Kite.
Die.
Uses the Tornado special ability and... Oh, good lord. Masquerin out of the fight. That's going to take a lot of work to rebuild the trust that we had there. That's very unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it. Literally, Spiriel was facing our main character and didn't care. And slaps our main character about like a toy. Unbelievable. We're really going to have to do something about this. As to what, I really don't know. You can't stop her, especially with this kind of backup. Now, if we use the sleep ability here, we should be able to at least put some of her backup out of the fight so that we're just dealing with her.
Spirits, help me.
Now, this spell has a chance to not work, as you can see. It works less well on boss characters, but it does work occasionally on boss characters. You can keep spamming the ability, and sometimes it will work. I can understand why it's limited in its use, because it is a very good ability. It's very powerful. It eliminates any chance of evasion or block, and indeed, as you can see, you don't even wake them up with an attack. Not necessarily, anyway. Now, we're in a really bad situation here. I don't want the healers anywhere near Kite, but I'm going to have to heal Kite back up at some point, otherwise he's going to end up dying on the next turn. A normal attack or, perhaps a tornado would kill Kite almost instantly. And of course, not particularly desirable. The White Lords demonstrating that they are incredibly tough, even against special abilities, not going down too quickly at all. I'd honestly rather have Khan out of the way, because I know Khan's just going to get torn apart. Okay. Now, we do have the bonus magic resistance ability there from the healer, but it's not going to help us too much. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Walks all the way over there.
Die.
And absolutely destroys Slate. What are you supposed to do? I mean, I don't know what it... the problem with this terrain as well is that there's no choke points that you can really hold her at. You can hold her at those mountains, but it doesn't work too well. The worst possible situation, indeed, is if you hold her at those mountains, the only person that can really attack is somebody with a ranged ability. So if you've got Kite at the front, and you've got your healer 2 back... then you need someone directly behind Kite, and there's only 2 people doing damage. The healer, and I'm not kidding, because of having to use heal rank 2, can actually run out of mana. And if the healer runs out of mana, that's it. Because Kite's dead in 2 hits. Oh, yes. The Mesmer Arrow actually has a useful secondary effect. If anyone survives the horrendous amount of damage that ability does, they get put to sleep. Even better. You get some very useful attacks later on in the game. There's a couple more that you will see. Might as well clear out this White Lord while I have the opportunity. And a demonstration of a special move, the Brutal Shock. Just a very, very big punch. Nothing wrong with that. Anyone who's familiar with the monk characters from the previous Shining Force games will know that punching people is incredibly effective. This is risky business, to be honest. I'm not sure I want Khan anywhere near them. I'm getting him out of the way. It's not worth the risk. It really isn't. Sybil might be able to take a hit. Probably not a tornado, but she should be able to take a hit with her extra defense. And we really need this White Lord out of the way, because if he wakes up and starts wreaking havoc, particularly with Kite not in an optimal position for tanking, then we're going to run into all manner of problems. We're already several members down as a result of Spiriel. You've yet to see anything of the dungeon yet, because nothing especially exciting is happening in there. I will show you it soon enough. And another counter-attack! Oh. She literally counters about 70-80% of the melee hits set at her. It's absolutely horrendous, and this could be really bad.
I'm going to kill you.
Ugh. 1 HP. Incredibly fortunate there. If that was a tornado attack, that would have been the end of the battle. That's the thing as well. She got to move directly after Symbius. By Symbius, of course, I mean Kite. Even the level 2 heal won't get him back up to full, so we're going to have to back him up with everyone we've got. We've got 2 healers using the more mana-efficient options. Now, we can move Irene forward a little bit, I think, and hope that she doesn't decide just to move around and engage Irene. Having said that, Irene does have quite a lot of HP and defense at this point, so due to her level advantage, so it is possible that she might end up not dying from a single hit. One can only hope. We've got to engage her. We don't have the option to just leave her lying around. Even a counter-attack there on Sybil, we're going to have to get her out of the way, but I know that we can probably heal Sybil up before that becomes an issue. Now, regretting somewhat my decision to move Khan over there, Khan does not move very fast. He only has a 5 movement speed, and in terrain like this, that could be a real problem. And yet another counter. At least they're not doing quite as much damage due to the terrain. What I need to get Obright. Oh, Lord.
Die.
So much for that. And here's me thinking maybe I can heal Sybil beforehand. No, there goes Sybil in a cloud of dust. Being dismantled in this fight. This fight is just horrible. It really is. It's a huge quantum leap in difficulty. If we had choke points that we could engage the enemies at, that would be great, but this is a large open field, and really, Spiriel is just going to prance around wherever she feels like. Now, I need to get Obright over there. Obright has that defense bonus, which will be really useful. Now, here's the dungeon. Here's one of the 2 items that are actually worth having. That thief actually steals a healing drop out of that chest and just runs straight out. There's no point in engaging the thief at all. Who wants a healing drop, really? Who cares? What I'm going to do is I'm going to flap Eldar all the way up there, so that Eldar's ready to intercept the thief when he grabs the good item out of the other chest. What we're going to do, we're going to hit him twice. The first to get the large mithril, and the second to get the item in that chest, and then that will be it. Not a particularly complicated dungeon. Not a particularly good item either, actually. Very valuable, but as regards to general usefulness, particularly at this stage of the game, it's not something you want to be using. We'll save it probably for one of the really hard battles near the end. We will need it. Right, we really have to start doing some damage, but I don't want to risk bringing Hayward that close. Hayward's doing it at 1 shot, and Hayward's one of our big damage dealers here. Our biggest, in fact, I would say. Oh, Lord. As if it couldn't get any worse.
Die.
Unbelievable amounts of damage on that ability. In this fight, you really have to kill her before she kills your entire force. There's really not much else you can do about it. I suppose if you were very, very careful with the positioning with Obright and had a lot of friendships built up. Now, I'm not even going to bother engaging. I know what's going to happen. I'm moving Kite back there, and I'm going to try and at least bunch our guys up to get some defense bonuses and hope that it's enough. If I put Obright behind Kite, then Kite will get the defense bonus. But I'm going to put him there right now, just so that he benefits Hayward with his defense bonus. Obright has a lot of defense, a lot of HP, and Hayward will gain the defense bonus and hopefully not die if Spiriel turns around and decides to engage. Right, there's your item. It's a Hoplite. The Hoplite, if I remember correctly, restores all the mana of the entire party across the entire battlefield. It's incredibly useful, and we want it. Unfortunately, it's a one-use consumable. There's only a couple in this entire scenario. We're not going to be using it too much right now. Get rid of a healing drop and grab this large mithril, and then engage with Eldar, which we can do. Flap Eldar all the way around there to grab the Hoplite, and that'll be the end of the dungeon. Very easy to execute. You can't really screw this up. Indeed, I actually entered this tomb about a turn later than I should have, and I was still able to get the best items. So, not something you need to worry about at this stage if you are currently playing through this game. Don't worry about the tombs until much later. Tomb 5 and 6 are pretty tricky. Everything else is mostly standard fare. Noon, sitting on no mana whatsoever right now, and the characters that were carrying our goddess tiers, which were the mana regenerating consumables, are in fact out of play right now. So Noon's just going to have to stay out of the way and hope not to die. Irene's starting to run low on mana here, which is going to cause us issues. Oh, Lord.
I'm going to kill you.
Oh, Khan survives it, thankfully, just a normal attack. Khan's defense is good. He's got a lot of HP. He was, in my opinion, rather fortunate there. So we can get Khan behind Kite and just hope that Kite is going to be able to stave off some of the aggression. And thankfully, a melee hit there without any counterattacks.
I'm going to kill you.
And there we go. Kite now has the advantage of having Hoplite behind him, which gives him an additional boost of defense. So hopefully, if there's a counterattack here, which there is, then we're not going to run into health problems. No, indeed we're not. Took significantly less damage, and we've actually just got a bonus there, which has increased the amount of defense that Hoplite is giving to Kite. Should benefit us an awful lot, and we are coming towards the end of this fight. We should be able to finish off Spiriel in, hopefully, about a turn without losing any more of our force. We lost, I believe, 5 characters in this fight, which is way more than we have in any other fight combined. Which is unfortunate. So, can Hoplite finish the job? Oh, yes. Hoplite finally coming into his own with a power throw, taking out Spiriel and ending the fight. 49 experience and a rank 2 in weapons. Now, usually, I don't leave the video running after the fight, but I would like to show you this element of storyline progression that we get here, because this is a big deal. So sit back, relax, and if you've played Shining the Holy Ark, enjoy. My name has been TotalBiscuit. You have been watching Battle 14 of Let's Play Shining Force 3. If you've just seen this video and you haven't seen the others, I would strongly suggest you check out the YouTube and Blip TV channels, as well as the Something Awful thread. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.